but I wanted to share a bit what it is, what I'm doing. Right. So yes, we're officially now recording. Thank you all for coming once again. Really good to see so many people here. I can see some names I'm familiar with, some of them I'm not familiar. All right. But again, thank you very much for coming. Okay. So what we're going to be doing, as they say, oh, hello from England. Wow. From Rio. Valeria, hey, you made it. Hey, Regis. South of Brazil. Oh my goodness. We have lots of people coming in here. Thank you. Thank you. There's Elaine, Santos, people, Elena from Santos, Sonia. So I'm going to try my best to interact both with the chat and with you, I know, with the camera here as well. Blooming now. Oh, good. We have some good, yeah, nice. Cochilla, Daniele, Ponta Grossa. Whoa. Wait, Costa Rica. Oh my goodness, it's like pura vida. I think that's the way they say it in Costa Rica, right? Pura vida. I love that motto. Tupan. Oh my goodness. Curitiba. Love that city. Yes, pura vida. I love that motto. I think it really does synthesize a way of life, right? So let's go with that pura vida, sorry, and go there. Emanuele, you were my teacher at UGF. Yeah, long time ago, huh? Okay, good to see you here. Right. So as I said, some of you might be familiar faces, not so familiar faces, but the idea is to look at this resource that we all use and we're basically dominated by it. Let's face it. Without WhatsApp or Telegram or any of these tools, we would be, I know, not necessarily dead, but it would be very difficult to do things that we're doing today. Hi, Bernadette. How are you? Good to see you all here. All right. So the idea, of course, is looking at these things, but from the sake or from the perspective of you, the teacher. So I'm taking it, or I'm no sound. Oh my goodness. Really? Can you hear me, everybody? From Panama, Campinas, Vinedo, Muzi, we have lots of people here. From Belo Horizonte. All right. Let me know if you can hear me very well. Yeah, loud and clear. So if you're not hearing me, I think somebody said no sound. It could be the connection. If you want to log out and log back in, make sure you do that. Okay. So yeah, as I said, we want to take a look at this really nicely. So the first thing we're going to be doing is a quick survey, about 6 questions I want to ask you. And these 6 questions would be kind of the base of what we're going to talk about. All right. So I'm going to start it. You just work through the questions. As you work, for those of you who are the fast finishers, we as teachers, we always have to worry about the fast finishers. So if you're a fast finisher, hey, Divinopolis, Rio Grande, Sao Paulo again. If you're going to be a fast finisher, you answer all the questions really quickly, and people are still doing it. You can drop some questions here in the chat box in the meantime. All right. Okay. So let's see. Some people are still coming in. So what I'll do is, before I go into the survey itself, let me go back and talk a bit about myself. Can I introduce myself? I think it's important, as you say in Brazil, to sell your fish, right? You know that's not an expression in English. We don't sell fish like that. Of course, we sell fish, but it doesn't mean the same thing as in Portuguese, vender seu peixe. Uberaba, good. There's an expression, Curitiba, which is to ply your wares. It's an old expression, but it's the closest I think we get to this idea of vender seu peixe. Okay, so these little things we're gonna be seeing, and what I do with students when we work with these groups. Right. So you may have read the bio, read a bit about me, seen me somewhere online. Some of you, excuse me, Maria, yeah, from Rio. Thank you, Maria. May have known me from the postgraduate courses. I teach a lot of people online. President Epitacio, and face-to-face, but now basically just online. I've been teaching for about 24 years, not naturally, but a natural or native of Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah, not native speaker, but native of Trinidad and Tobago. I don't maybe go for that if they native speaker thing. All right, hello, come on in. All right, So I've been in Rio, Brazil for about 24 years, basically the same amount of time I've been teaching. So um, I think that my experience with teaching has been because of this time I spent here. Very quickly, I came to learn Portuguese, and I guess I did. And of course, stayed on to work and develop stuff, work with teaching, which has become my passion. And as I kind of I like to write. If you look at me on Instagram, you're gonna see that my kind of bio there is just saying making teachers even better. It's a bit ambitious, I know, but I think that's what I try to do. I try to help teachers to become not just better in terms of the methodologies and stuff, but all round, right? So, hey, Anna from Rio too. So, what I mean, all round teaching, right? Think of the teacher as whole, social, emotional, mental, cognitive skills, especially now that we're talking much more about social emotional learning. So, I look at that. And most importantly, language, okay? Victoria de Santa Antão. Wow, I've never some cities I've never heard of. Great, very good to see you here. Okay, come on in. So this is me. All right. Now, as I said, we're going to take a survey. So what I'm going to do is going to start this survey as of now. See if I can get it going. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. So here we go. So let me know if you can actually see, right? There should be some questions that show up for you. If you can actually see those questions and work through the questions. Great. I see some people already started. Excellent. And as I said before, the aim of this is to work on these 6 questions so that I would go back and comment on these questions along the way, because this is going to be the basis to help us understand what I'm talking about and a bit about this idea of the project, using instant messaging for teachers. Okay? Yes, Telegram, Skype, WhatsApp, Messenger. Good, good. Yes, Danielle is saying there in the chat. All right, yep, that's fine. Danielle, are you able to answer the questions there in the poll itself? If you're having any difficulty, if anybody's having any difficulty, let me know, all right? Great. So I'm going to give you about, let's say 5 to 6 minutes, I believe. And then we will, comment on that as we go along, okay? Yeah, Maria, thank you. There you go. Great, great, great. Oh, you can't see some of the options. I think what you have to do, somebody saying you can't see some of the options. If you can, Denise, yeah, what you can do is using your mouse, you just scroll up or roll the options up, yeah, and then you might be able to see it because I gave several. So what you do is just scroll up to see it. Messenger or scroll down. Yes, thank you, Philippe. But it depends on the point of view. But thank you very much, Philippe. Scroll up, scroll down. Very good, very good. People are putting their Messenger, WhatsApp. I see somebody mentioned Skype. Yeah, right. Yeah, fabulous, fabulous. Okay. So Felipe was a fast finisher. Any other fast finishers? Fast and Furious? Friday afternoon, right? TGIF. So it's gonna be like that, a Friday afternoon chill. Yeah, enjoying the TGIF moments. Okay. Nice. Mm-hmm. And done. Ooh, so we have Valgalino and Felipe. Yeah. Denise said never use Voxers. She's heard of the others. Yeah, Voxer. Actually, I came across Voxer at Denise while talking to some teachers. Where was this? Oh, some teachers online, but teachers from the United States, because apparently in the States, teachers use Voxer a lot more than WhatsApp. You know, Jose saying next. Okay, so yeah, they use apparently they use Voxer much more for sharing. It the features are very similar to WhatsApp. Where you can record, you can send files, you can basically put in everything there, short videos and so on. Yeah. Um, so I heard a lot about it. Viber wasn't. It was they started trying, started to maybe use it a little bit, but it didn't catch on. It didn't get a lot of traction, right? So this is something that I had also taken for granted because when I talked to a lot of teachers out of Brazil, they would say, well, no, we don't use WhatsApp. We kind of we use other tools like Remind, even Class Dojo and other tools to keep in touch with parents and with students, sorry, rather than using WhatsApp. But again, I think this is a case of the culture, the preferences. It caught on, and I think WhatsApp caught on a lot here. Zoom has also caught on tremendously, right? Skype is not that popular anymore, but Skype was, I think, the go-to resource for many people, for many teachers. If you've been teaching like me for about 22, 24 years, you would have seen, yeah, Skype. They said not anymore. So Skype is trying to make a comeback by offering some other, let's say, features and so on, right? It happens. Don't worry. Don't worry. Great. So I see this is good to see you are also talking about this. Google Meet, yeah. Even Google Classroom, right? Because you can use Google Classroom to connect with students. They get notifications in their email if they do check the emails, because most, at least my experience, students don't check. They don't really use the emails that much. But you can, if they have the app on their phone, they can just turn on the notifications so they can get the notifications through um, Google Meet and Google Classroom. Sorry. Yeah, I remember a student of mine very quickly, just to tell a story while you guys are finishing. Um, Student of mine answered the question. I posted a question at midnight, 12:30 a.m. And the student posted 15 minutes later. I was like, whoa, wow. He told me that he had received the notification, so he decided to do it anyway since he was awake. You know, yeah. And then he's saying that she prefers Telegram because of the phone number privacy. Great. These are some options, and these are some things you need to take care or consider, of course, if you're working with this with your students, right? Okay. So far so good. We're doing good, huh? Those of you, keep going. I don't let's say stop on my account. We keep answering the questions. Some people are coming in, right? Anna Valeria, good afternoon to you. Okay. We just got started. Actually, we're doing a survey, so you might want to catch up with all of them there. If you can't finish it, don't worry. I just want to get your insight on certain questions from what I asked there in the poll. All right. So notice that those of you who have already answered. I don't know if you noticed. My questions about using these things in the classroom or using them in general, there was only one question related to working with students. Did you notice that? Rosaline. Yeah, Rosaline, just to get your name. Sorry. Didn't understand question 3. Question 3, right? Let's see if I remember, because I asked the question, but I don't even remember the questions, right? But question 3, what? Can anybody help me with that? What's question 3? I can't see them right now, so forgive my poor memory. But first, I asked you about which ones you're familiar with and which one collocates. Yeah, this is going to be good. Thank you, Disal. Ooh. Yeah, I think she said qual palavra collocates. Yeah, the word this, and somebody also gave it in kind of a quick translation. Very good, Adeline. The word development. because this is a word we see a lot when we talk about teachers. It's I would say almost a buzzword. But what kind of development do we normally talk about when we hear this word? So I gave you a list of adjectives or adjectives, and here I'm talking about collocation, meaning words that go together. Which words tend to go together with which? So when we think development for teachers, we normally think professional. Maybe think of the other words that you might have heard when you hear that word development. And I'm asking in this case, which of these in the list that I gave you collocates the least in your opinion? What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at. I'm going to show you the results. Something that I did using a tool called the Corpus of Contemporary American English. And I think Maria Nates is saying words that go together. Exactly. So these tools, they are computer-based or electronically driven sites, websites, and tools that allow you to see what goes with what. And we're going to see then which of these tend to collocate less. And there's a purpose for that. What I'm trying to show, or by doing that, by going to that question, is to look at, why is it we don't talk so much about that kind of development when we talk about teachers? Okay, so it will lead to, I think, the main idea of my presentation, which is that sometimes we don't really talk about teaching, let's say, working with language, because we assume, and this is, correct me if I'm wrong, we assume that teachers already know the language well enough, and they might not need this extra ongoing practice of their own speaking or writing, reading, or listening, right? Because we assume that we take it for granted that if you're a teacher, you probably have, let's say, at least, I'm talking about in over, let's take this from a country as vast, as huge as Brazil. At least what we would say maybe an intermediate level of English. So if you are a teacher, you should have reached or at least gone past the intermediate level of language skills. Okay, that's the general assumption. And once you got there, and once you've reached that point, there seem to be very few opportunities for teachers to actually continue studying or talking about that or working on those skills. Because then what happens? Life happens, right? You start teaching, you have groups to keep, you have to work sometimes in 2 or 3 schools, you have to keep up, you have to plan lessons, you have to hand in syllabus, programs, projects, etc. So there is sometimes very little time and also resources. When I talk about resources, I'm talking about financial, economic resources to maybe go further. See where I'm coming from? Does everybody follow me there? Okay, there you go. So if you follow me, you can just, yeah, okay, yes, I see the yeses and okays coming in. Great. So this is a reality, and it's not just a reality in Brazil. This is we see this in other countries. If you talk to teachers from other countries, teachers, in who are working with English, teaching English as a second foreign language, or using it in bilingual contexts, most teachers will tell you, "Oh well, it's difficult for me to really practice the language outside of the classroom," right? And then you end up having what I like to call teacheries. And if you were my student, I think Regis may have heard me say this already. Teacheries, if you think of the word Portuguese, and teacheries would be that language that we tend to speak all the time. So especially if we teach the same groups, the same number of students, the same levels, the same materials, then the type of, let's say, commands, instructions, our language use is often limited to giving instructions, maybe explaining, asking concept check questions, giving some feedback, encouraging students, and so on. So by that, then we end up not having a lot in terms of time to practice. Okay. Okay. Well, not everybody is able to vote so far, but for the sake of our, the activity here, I'm going to stop it for now and then show you the results. Right. But the idea was to get you all to get, let's say, to kind of brief you, prepare you for the discussion. Here we go. Okay, so there we go. So we have, I'm sharing the results. I hope you can see it. Let's see if I can share my results and show you what I got there. Right. So most people, of course, on WhatsApp, this was a kind of a given. We expected that to happen. Nobody mentioned Voxer. Okay, that's fine. Instant messaging, as we can see, most of you talked about it for practice. You wanted to give students extra practice out of the classroom. Fine. It's perfect. And also, second and third, I think you see neck and neck actually, communicating with your school, with coordinators, talking to other teachers. We have their study groups, not so much. Teacher groups, associations, some people also put that there. Great. Notice, work on speaking skills, 5%. Then the question about collocation, right? Yes. So some people put ongoing, some put cognitive, then they put personal, food, and so on. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I did. I took a snapshot of the results that I drew up from the website that I mentioned, Corpus Contemporary American English. Then we're going to take a look at that. Okay. Then, mastering a language is like, so you say, riding a bike. Some people agreed. Some people, yeah, partially was the number one. I put it depends because I know that most people would. No, that's okay. I think Marie's saying she couldn't start before. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. Partially, Christine's having some problem with her sound. It's maybe the connection, but that's okay. And then I asked you about ways you could improve. So we have there Maria saying practice makes perfect. True. Practice makes, I think, not just perfect, but perfection maybe, or practice makes a winner. Practice makes you see the need, right, to keep to persist. Really, there are many possibilities, but we do that. Wagner is saying it was too broad. Question number 4. Hold on. Oh yeah, well that's why I think Wagner we put the idea of you could say it depends, or you prefer not to comment if you think you said it's too broad. Most definitely, I didn't want to give away my idea, so I didn't want to maybe induce you to say something or something, or not. And then we talked about ways to improve. So you have there, of course, I think the traditional forms that things we recommend to our students, right? So you have there taking an exam, participating in online communities, exchanging letters. I think that's nice. Having an e-pal. So 43% was the TV series and movies. Wow, that was the number one here. Podcast and music came in second. So we see that most of us are really, my whole time. But pen pals are great. I think it's pen pals actually, Maria, can open up to other stuff because you start exchanging ideas with this person. Naturally, you're going to want to maybe not get to meet them immediately, but you want to know a bit more about them. They share stuff about their lives, their families, pictures, and so on. So naturally, that will open up to other things, not just writing, but it might open to a video call one day. It might open to a phone call. It might open to, even a visit face to face. Who knows? Yeah, these things can happen, right? And then this one, okay, this last one. Why did I put this question here? Because this is, I think, something that we tend to believe a lot, is that webinars like this one, workshops, conferences for teachers, most of them, again, we don't have all the numbers, but in general, we see these events being held in English for several reasons. One, because it might be an international conference and you might have people from other countries attending. The other, let's say, argument that is often used is that this is one way that teachers can be exposed to English. So hearing people talk in English, hearing and talking to others in English would be one way to, brush up or keep your English, let's say, sharp. At least your listening skills, and you have to talk to the people in English. So it would be one way of doing that. And I think I believe that for most of my teaching career, notice I said I believed that. I'm beginning to question this sometimes, because I don't know if when we go to webinars like this, if we're going there to, or if we can, focus on learning stuff, getting ideas, learning new routines, learning new strategies, methodologies, sharing stuff from and picking up ideas and activities from other teachers, if we are actually going to be focusing on language, on how we speak. And I don't know, again, it involves more, it needs more empirical study to see how much or how this does affect or does impact on teachers' actual language development when they go to these conferences. Okay, that's why I put this question here. So people said it depends. Nobody put Portuguese. Makes no difference. Okay, there you go. Right. So that's it. Now I'm going to stop this. Let me stop the question for a quick bit. And then I'm going to go back to my presentation. Okay. There we go. So you took the survey. Yes, well, Magna, we're going to see. When I talked about question 3, it talks about collocation. I'm going to go back to that in the next 2 slides from now. So hold on. Don't go away. All right? It's going to be coming up right away. So we've taken that survey. And when we talk about instant messaging, language learning, and so on, we often think about it in terms of teaching. We think about this. So running a quick search, for example, if you do a quick search on Google Scholar, right, which is important, Google Académico. If you go to Google Scholar and you put stuff like instant messaging for language learning, you might find articles, topics like these, but most of them are related to students. So it does not work this. Anna says we use this a lot. Good. So notice that the focus is usually on the students, and there are not many opportunities. There are, let's say, at least documented studies on teachers using the same tools for their own, let's say, improvement and growth, language competencies, and so on. Right. So running a quick check, you can see there's Telegram, there is WeChat, which is a very popular chat tool in China. Yeah, you have there using mobile instant messaging. So they talk about some of the more popular, let's say, tools we use for that purpose. Okay, so we know that this is, let's say, a given. We use this all the time. But then, going back to my question about the collocation, remember I told you about that? So take a look at this now. It might not, let's see if I can make it a little bigger for you. Hold on, let's see. But if you cannot see it, I will just go through and read for you. All right, so it wouldn't be too difficult. But if you see here, I put the word development, and then I added there, ran a search on adjectives or adjectives that go with the word development. And the number 1, economic development, professional development is number 2. Sustainable, human, new, urban. So you see all of this here. International, The ones that I mentioned to you, we have further. So further development meaning to continue to improve. You can further it. Hi, Bernadette, from all the way from UFMG. Great, great. Good to have you here. So we have further, we have continue, cognitive, sorry, national, commercial. So not all of them are related to education or to teaching, but the ones that I focused on were professional, further, cognitive. You had down below, you can't even find them. Notice that I just was able to put the top 30 results, but it gives you results all the way down to 100 words. And what it does, it focuses on the frequency. So this is what you're looking for here. It shows me that on the internet, on this, what they call corpus, which is this collection of English, okay? Hey, Liliani, this collection of English from various sources, um, it occurs 7,423 times, the combination economic development. So it's very frequent, that combination, right? So that's what it shows you here, this frequency in the amount of times it's used. Great. So then this, I think, corroborates with my idea that we don't talk a lot about language development when we're talking about teachers. We're talking about teachers becoming better or improving. The focus is much more on teaching, getting them to do the methodology, getting them to work with the skills, mastering the technology, using new tools, new resources. Now, I'm sure all of us here can attest to that. You probably have had to as they say, the term reinvent, innovate your teaching, going online, learning to use things like Zoom, right? So you see, it has become new for us. Rita's asking, are those collocations for language development? No, the collocation for the word development. What I did, just for you to understand, right, is, Rita, the tool allows you to put in a word, and then you can choose if you want to see the word in, like a list of examples from the internet. You can choose to find the word in context. You can choose to put collocates, and you decide what collocate. So let's say I want to see verbs that we use with development. So do I promote development? Do I prepare? Do I foster? Do I, generate, invest, and so on? So you've tried to look at these verbs to see where they come from. And this tool, it's as I said, electronically stored. They collect these examples and they give you the number one or the most frequent occurrences of those combinations. So apparently, economic is the word that most collocates with development. Right? Great. The name of the tool, there you go. I'm going to put it here. It's a corpus tool. This particular, many tools like these online. It is called the corpus of, I'm writing it in the chat, all right? Corpus of Contemporary American English. As I said, there are many tools because there are other corpora. Corpora is the plural of corpus, and corpus basically is a body of language that is collected electronically. So there are many other corpora. That, for example, did you know that there's a coronavirus corpus? Yeah. So while they have collected a sense of terms related to coronavirus. So you can see what's going on with people. What are people talking about the coronavirus? So we talk about masks. Let's say I want to tell students, is it wear a mask or use a mask? The students sometimes they say that, right? Oh, I'm using a mask, teacher. I have to use a mask. So what I can do is go to this website and put, again, mask and see which words go with which. Or I could put where and then put there, right? Great, thank you, Wagner. See, so it's like that. You can explore that. Make sure you use it. There are several, let's say, opportunities inside it. All right. Great. So from there, then, what does this mean? So what I have been doing is using WhatsApp and Telegram to help teachers with this. Right. It started off as a very simple project with some students online, where they were saying, well, they were studying online, of course, so they watched videos, they did the materials, but they didn't have opportunities to practice English and really speak as they would like to. So I decided, just ad hoc, very organically, I decided to create a WhatsApp group, and I invited some teachers to come in, and we decided to run a kind of a pilot where I would ask them to do some speaking tasks. So it formulated a bit like what we call the TOEFL. Is anybody familiar with the TOEFL tests? Are you familiar? TOEFL speaking activities, which are recorded, right? The TOEFL online tests. And in TOEFL, you get a question, you have to answer this in a minute or a minute and a half, right? But you have some time to prepare, 30, 45 seconds to prepare your answer, then you record. So using this idea, oh, Liliani said she did. I use the same thing with WhatsApp, where I would just send them a question, the teachers would answer it, and then I would, kind of give them some feedback. But I decided to, let's say, go a little further and make it a much more cohesive idea. So this is what I did. And this is how I've been doing it, right, with some groups. So I have groups where I do that. So normally I send a question out, as you can see there, and I upload it, I record using the WhatsApp there. Students would come in, or the teachers would come, and then record their answers. It can happen on the same day. Well, we record. After they record, I listen into that, and then I give some feedback, right? So I talked a bit about the recording, feedback on, of course, the answer itself. I mean, agree, disagree, I like what you said, interesting points you raised, and then, of course, help them out with everything related to language, from intonation to language use, collocations, phrasal verbs, you name it, grammar forms, etc., etc. Right? So it was feedback was done like that. Then there is some, but then there's opportunity for participants to talk to each other or to comment on each other's recordings. So there was also some peer feedback. So you would have each other, you would, let's say I spoke to, just giving names, if Liliane, Gabriela, or Wagner or something, and Wagner would come and say, oh, Liliane, I love what you said there, picking up the thread. So this way, encouraging an ongoing discussion, right, using the audio files, right? I thought audio would be much easier rather than video, right? So I use audio with them. So you have the peer feedback, and then to kind of round it off, at the end of the week, I would provide a summary. I'd often sometimes ask students to come in and also give their review of the most important things they've learned, the language they've learned. So much so I've asked them, and students have done that. They've created a spreadsheet, and they would type in the new language they've learned, expressions they found useful, the comments I gave, and maybe what they thought would be interesting that they would like to learn. So they created their own spreadsheet of most important vocabulary from those topics. So there's always a summary, and then I would send that summary to them. This summary could be in the form of a quick file. What I've also been doing is using tools like Google Classroom. So upload those there, some extra practice for them to work on specific points, extra ideas where they can do some more practice in this, where they can read, they can watch videos about those topics or those areas where they have difficulty. So that's the idea, basically, and that's how it works every week. So it's a weekly process. They get that feedback, and it happens like that. Ideally, it's to work like maybe every day they come and say something. Just to give you an idea of how it works, let's see. Let me give another example. It's this one. Okay, so you can see there, it is stuck in the mud. That's the topic. So what I did is organize it in terms of topics. Every week it's a different topic, different idea. Very broad topics from things going on in the news, generally things that we talk about with our own students, and other interests that students have. So I do a lot of needs analysis at the beginning, and then we have here some questions. So what do you associate with this word? How do you feel? Stuck in traffic, stuck in an elevator, stuck on a desert island. So working again with some common associations with the word stuck. Stuck professionally. What does that mean to be stuck professionally? How does that feel? And motivate people. And at the end of the week, what I did then was I showed them a quick video to kind of connect with the idea. All right? So let's do it. Let's try that. Take a look at those questions now. What I'm going to do, let me know if you have your smartphones nearby. Do you have your phone? Because what I'm going to drop a link to a web WhatsApp group, okay? But it's just a demo. It's going to be available only for the next 24 hours, and then I'm going to close the group, right? But I'm going to drop the link to this WhatsApp group. You can join it using on your phone, all right? Let's see, here we go. I'm going to drop it in the chat. And the idea is that you can choose one of these questions. There you go. So you can choose one of those questions that's on the board, on the screen, and tell me how would you answer that? Okay, so very, very straightforward. So you have your phone, go in here, and I'm going to leave a quick message for all of you. So yeah, here we go. Oh, people already entered. Oh, you see, great. So I'm going to leave a message. Hello, everybody. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining the demo WhatsApp group. Feel free now to record one of the questions that you see on the screen, that I've left on the screen, related to the topic, stuck with or stuck in the mud. As an example, I'm going to answer question number 4. What motivates people to make a career change? There are many things that can motivate people to do that, but I believe when they don't feel challenged enough, then they look to do something else. Or it can be external motivations where people, go there and have to, let's say, do something because they've lost their job. They have to make a move. Necessity, as we say, is the mother of invention. Okay, that's my answer. So, looking forward to hearing from all of you. Bye bye. So you see, this is what I do. I leave the message. Somebody saying, Christine, it's not a link on my phone. I got disconnected. Oops, oh my goodness, what happened? But just Lainey, let's see if I can include, all right, somebody just used, there's a link there. And I'm going to ask Disal to send the links to you as well, because I sent it to them via email, so you should be able to get the link there too. All right? Okay. If you don't, what you can do, this is a good question, Liliani. Good point. Sometimes teachers might say, well, I'm a bit shy. What can I do? That's okay. Take your time to record. That's why you have enough time to record. And this is why this is so important that we look at feedback. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay? I'm going to come back to the questions. So you have that opportunity. Let me go to this page. Great. See, Liliani, this idea of feedback, especially for students who are shy, you want to make sure that we are making sure that you have this opportunity to record again. And often, if students feel that they don't want to share the recordings in the group itself, I ask them to send recordings to me first, a private message, and then we work on that together. And once they feel more comfortable, okay, now send that audio to the group. See? So this is great because it's an opportunity. The key word is right there, retrial. The opportunity for you to go back and do things again whenever necessary. And students can record as many times as they like. This is it, because you go back, record again, okay, give you more feedback. And also the feedback that I give is very specific. So I might ask you to work on specific things. Oh, I have Wagner's already here. Wagner, good to see you. Woo! Yay. Yes, Wagner's already here, man. Waste no time. Wagner is really fast. Congrats, man. So What I was saying about feedback is I focus on specific things. So let's say, oh, I have to work on grammar. Well, no, I'm saying they don't feel comfortable with the others. Good. So what we do work on as well, Anna. Uh, oh, Felipe, yeah, no problems. Well, Felipe, keep in touch, all right? You have I think you have my contacts. If you need anything, let me know, right? And going back to the idea of being, a bit shy to interact with others, what we do is the first week is a get to know. So there's a lot of, introduction, warming, a little bit of warmers, some fun activities to break the ice. Okay. And then as you get more familiar with others, you start working. But I give you an opportunity to, let's say, go in slowly so that you won't feel completely thrown to the lions, as we say. All right. But that's a very good question and very good point. Okay. Was it Anna who said that? I believe it was Anna or Valeria. I think it was Anna Valeria. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So going back then to our question, and remember, you have to answer one of these, like Mr. Multitasking Wagner saying his middle name. Very good. If you have to, if you have already answered, or you can take notes of this. If you say, "Oh, I'm not ready for this right now," take a picture of the questions, screenshot that, save it, and then send me the answer today, later today, tomorrow. As I said, it's going to be available for 24 hours, and I close the group just for you to get a taste of how it works. All right, just like a teaser. All right, well, then let me show you then the video I was talking about that's connected to this idea of stuck, right? Stuck in the mud, as we were saying. All right, so if I showed you the video, hold on. I'm going to show the video, and then we will open for some more questions or problems, anything you want to say here before we close. Okay. Okay, so this is the video, and how does this connect to what the questions we're talking about, right? Just being stuck professionally, stuck in an elevator. It had this idea of you can't get out. Just remember, there's a great. Oh, Fernando, if you can't send an audio, you can send a text message. If it's not um, opportunity for you, difficulty for you, write it in text. All right. Okay, Fernanda. If you have to leave, those of you may have to leave. Can you make sure that there's on top, there's a call to action here? So you can click on that. And I just want to hear from you in terms of activities you would like, maybe workshops that you would be interested in, so I can prepare that. Okay? Thank you. So let's take a look at the video really quickly. Here you go. Simple stuff. Yeah, simple as that, right? But what happened, of course, I'm showing you this is the video, but what I did was I just took a snapshot of it, with the car at a lower level, so it really looked like a car in the mud. And then all of a sudden, this boy appears to take it out. So the question I asked was, okay, so how do you get out of the mud? What do you do when you are stuck in the moment? Okay, yes, I'm going to repeat it. Okay, Magina. Okay, no problem. Here we go. Let's see if I can repeat. Okay, here we go. So yeah, this is the image here, right, Magna? So this is there, it's stuck. Oh God, what happens next? So there you go. Huh? Just that's it, Maria. Just do it. It's almost like Nike, but of course, it's not that simple all the time. But if you do feel stuck, you need to do something about it, and you're the only person who can do it, not anybody else. So there was a kind of moral or a lesson at the end that I wanted students to come up with. Okay, great. Well, let me stop sharing this. And now I'm going to open for questions. All right. Let's see if I can open this for questions. Great. Yeah, Maria's saying that adults can't handle that too easily. So let's open. I'm going to open now. We have about 5 minutes. So any questions you would like to ask, feel free. Let's hear from you. Okay. In the meantime, let me see. Oh, wow. Good. Islani. Oh, yeah. See, same internet went down. So I'm going to answer your question here, okay? Islani. In the meantime, let's see if you guys have any questions. Ah, somebody has one. Let's see. ACB. Oops. Uh-huh. Let's see. They just talked about adults are having this difficulty. Two messages. Let's see if I can check your messages here. Oh, wow. You guys are really liking this, huh? Okay, you have to answer the questions. One of the questions in this case. And let's see. Well, I think nobody has a question. I'm going to go back to the comment box. All right. And then I'm going to leave my, yeah, this is it. I'm going to leave this open so you can see. Okay. All right. New messages. Let's see if we have any new. Oh. Okay, great. I'm going to take a picture just so those of you who got, didn't see what we were doing. Yeah, there you go. So I'm leaving in the group. Anna says we're using WhatsApp to correct students. It's working really well. Christine has to leave. Yeah, it gets recorded. It is recorded, Christine. All right. Have you answered my click here? Did you click on the exit ticket before you leave? If I would really appreciate if you did that. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if anybody wants to get in touch, okay, you can reach me here. I'm so glad to hear that the results are working for you there, Anna. Yeah, I think students have moved and they have really taken to uh, what do you call it, orally, yeah, using these tools because they use it for everyday communication. So they really appreciate that, and they do seem much more motivated when they have to use those tasks as opposed to more traditional. Not at all, but it's much more appealing to them, right? Okay. Any other comments? Let's see. Any questions? All right, we have a few minutes. Great. Trying to see if I have any other questions down here. All right. Okay. Does anybody need me to still repeat? Oh, I think we've covered all the questions, haven't we? Good. Okay. Mine is just a comment. Okay. No problem. When you correct them, do you send it in the group or individually? This is another thing. When I send, this is Maria, what happens when I send out the beginning of the group, when we start the activities, you fill in a form, I ask you, do you prefer, or would you like me to comment in the group or individually? So most teachers have agreed to do it, or to hear the comments in the group. But if you want individually, that's fine, all right? It can happen. How to send you the answers? So I take the opportunity to see if I'm. Oh, Magna, glad to see you here. Well, Magna, if you cannot find me, as I said, you can find me in any of these, like my blog. You can go there to LinkedIn. If you haven't been able to find me in the group, I'm going to put my phone here, and then you could just, right? So if you want to get in touch with me, and I can, as I said, this is going to be a 24-hour activity. So thank you all. Thank you, Silva, for coming. Yeah, Anna works at the most common mistakes. That's right. Hey, Regis, thank you. Wagner, hope to bump into you again. Of course, always. Stuck with the idea of feeling unable to change the situation. Hmm. Yeah, you do feel that way, right? You do feel totally at a loss. It is common. Thank you. Thank you for Anna. You sent it in the group. Okay, I think we've answered that. There you go. Are you aware of what's going on with state public teachers? Jose Hick is asking. Well, I've been hearing a lot of stories, Jose Hick, and it is sad. But I don't know if you want to talk to me about that, and afterwards, or get in touch. Let me know. Let me know. It is crazy. And again, you're talking about Sao Paulo, I think, and state to state it varies, right? It's crazy what they're doing. So yeah, hit me up. Let me send me a message. We talk. No problems. All right. So that's it, folks. Thank you for coming. It was really good. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a blast, really fast, as we say, fast and furious. Okay, so there we go. Thank you again. I'm going to start my presentation here. It was really, really good to see all of you. So, great, you take care. Well, am I good? Disal, what do I do? You guys going to take it off and stop recording, I think? Yeah. Thank you. Layla, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, lots of people coming in. Enjoy your day, enjoy the weekend. Right. Nice weekend for you too. Oh, wow. Good, good. Martinini. Oh, Valeria, miss you. Hope everything is okay with you, all right? Good to see you, at least here, right? At least we have one way to keep in touch. Thank you. Thank you, Fernanda. Thanks so much. Really good. Wow. Let's see so many people coming in here. Yeah, I didn't sing. Oh yeah. Well, okay. You got to get yourself together. You got stuck in the moment. Yeah, stuck in the moment. Recommend that. You too. Sienna already says it. This song, you may have heard of this. The story behind the song was written for Mick Hutchins, Michael Hutchins. Sorry, the lead singer of In Excess. Thank you, Maurice, who was going through depression at the time. Unfortunately, he did commit suicide. Sadly, he did. But he was, Bono, very good friends. He decided to write this song in his honor to kind of like to cheer him up. Great song, great song. I'm not a big fan of U2, but this song, there you go. All right, thank you. Yeah, I didn't want to spoil, I didn't want to sing too much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, you can't get out of it, but now you know you can get out of it. Thank you very much. I think that's it. Do we have a wrap? Yeah, great. Woo-hoo. All right, Disal, tell me, what do I do now? I'm open. I hope to listen to you again. Okay, great. The recording, it's there. I think they're going to make it available so you can go and listen as many times as you like. And we'll be in touch. Don't worry. As Michael says, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll be there. Just call my name and I'll be there. Okay.
Can we end the webinar?
I love it.
Can you hear me, Stephan?
Okay.
Stephan, can you hear me?
Yes. I can.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Thank you so much for the webinar, for your participation. Thank you,
Thank
all of
you.
you. This is the last webinar of the year. So thank you so
Wow.
much, everyone, for participating. And just let me know if I can end with the webinar right now. Is that all
Okay.
right for you?
Let me just answer one quick question.
I can do
Rita,
it. Okay.
she says, how would you deal with multi-level groups? 12 online students only. Yeah, multi-level. Okay, Rita, send me a message. We talk about this. Okay. I will be able to, because I want to be able to go into a lot of detail. But as it says, multi-level has to do a lot with personalization and differentiation. So you have to be able to differentiate different tasks for different stages of the learners and where they are at. But of course, the tasks are all aiming towards the same goal. So that students might be doing different things, but the aim would be the same. All right. So if you want to get more from that, we can talk more about this either using the WhatsApp, you name it. Thank you. Bye bye.